Genesis. Show my hardcore is.
Hey, it's DC here with dclayborn.com, home of Genesis Strength and Conditioning. Thanks for checking out today's video. Before we get started, if you haven't, make sure you click that button above to subscribe and check out the links below so you can pick up your free gift and continue to let us help you become get the most out of your training. So today I have a question here from JPZ91 who submitted a question through the DC Speaks link, which I'll put below, basically saying, DC, no matter what I do, no matter how much I focus on my arms, they never seem to get bigger. I've actually been able to put on weight, so the eating is correct. The training program seems to be working because I'm getting stronger, but my arms never grow. Do you have any tips on how to get bigger arms and catch them up with the rest of my body? Appreciate it. Keep fighting the good fight. Thanks, JPZ. JPZ, thanks for checking out the videos and following the blog. You know, I have a few tips that will help you make sure that that you're able to get bigger arms. Especially, I appreciate you telling me and kind of knocking out the normal answers that I typically would say is make sure you're eating enough, make sure you're on a quality program, which sounds like it already is if your strength levels are going up, but you didn't specify kind of what your definition of strength levels going up were, if it's for the bigger lifts, if it's for arm specific stuff, or really kind of what that is. So going to kind of give you some basics that's going to help you really make sure that you're able to get those arms growing again. So step number one of how to get bigger arms is really you want to focus a lot on things like weighted chin-ups, close grip chin-ups, dips, that type of stuff, heavy compound movements that still directly hit the arms. A lot of times when you hear people say stuff about heavy compound movements, they list off bench, deadlift, squat, and yes, that's a full body compound movement, but in terms of just focusing on direct arm work, you want to hammer stuff like heavy compound arm lift or heavy compound movements that are going to focus specifically on the arms. Close grip chin-ups, weighted is one of those that's really going to hammer the biceps and still add a little benefit to the back. Weighted dips, focus and really hammer specifically the tricep, keep them stressed, keep them activated. So when you're doing stuff like that, instead of if you see pull-ups, if you see push-ups, swap that stuff out for heavy weighted chin-ups, or heavy close grip chin-ups and heavy weighted dips. Tip number two of how to get bigger arms is you want to make sure that you vary your rep ranges in all the movements. Kind of going back to the compound thing from the previous statement, is a lot of people will think the bigger the lift, the lower the reps, and then the more isolated the reps, the lift gets. If it's something like a dumbbell curl or something you want to go higher reps, well, really you want to vary that up. So if it's sometimes close grip chin-ups or weighted dips or just regular dips, you want to go higher reps. Sometimes you want to go lower reps. If you're doing regular curls, you want to, 12, 15 may work. Typically what I've learned is we vary it up from anywhere from 6 to 15 reps. Triggers the most growth in the arms. The third step, if you've been hammering your arms and trying to get them to grow without any good results, is for 3 to 4 weeks, skip any direct arm work and focus on improving those bigger lifts like we talked about and that JPZ that you had said anyway. Focus on improving your bench. Focus on improving a weighted pull-up. Focus on improving overhead press, and focus on really improving stuff like your deadlift or even your bent over row. Focusing on moving more weight in those lifts and moving more weight correctly using the correct form is going to carry over into added bicep size, added tricep size. And step number 4 is you want to make the majority of your arm specific work, when you do add it back in, you want to make it heavy and you want to keep it in that lower range. I know earlier I said you want to vary it up, but even though you're varying it up, you still want to make the majority of that training on the lower end of the rep range. So for example, bicep wise, we like to stay for the majority of our sets in that 6 to 8 rep range, and then tricep wise, we like to stay anywhere from that 8 to 12 rep range. That seems to not only develop the most strength for our athletes and for our clients, but also give them the biggest bang for their buck in terms of putting on size for their arms. So the one thing that's going to happen when you do that though is you're not going to feel that pump. The blood's not going to rush to it. You're not going to feel like they're not going to get jacked up and get huge and that blown up feeling that most guys go to the gym to get. You're not going to feel that because the reps are so low. But if you stick with it and don't worry about it, hammer that for a few weeks in that 6 to 8 rep range for biceps and 8 to 12 rep range for triceps, you'll really notice some huge changes and some size increases. Finally, the final step, while you're working your biceps and triceps and directly after finishing the workout, you want to stretch them out, get good good quality bicep stretch. Find a bench you can go behind, grab a barbell, really kind of squat it down, stretch that bicep out. Tricep wise, we like to take it overhead. We'll grab a band, step on it and pull. We'll go down, we'll get a good stretch. We'll hold a dumbbell and let it sit and just kind of pull it this way. But really what's going to happen is I picked that up back a long time ago when I was following a bunch of bodybuilders and bodybuilding coaches on how to maximize the growth in those muscle groups, especially ones that don't normally grow. And by stretching them, you're allowing more blood flow to get into the area and allowing them to really start the recovery process as quickly as possible. So there are 5 tips to hopefully help you get your arms growing and help you put on the size that you want so you can fill out those t-shirts, or you can do what I do and just cut the shirt off. I didn't do all this. The shirt's kind of falling apart. It's a little old. If you have any questions, make sure you click that link below. Submit it to the DC Speaks. Hit that button above. Now you guys know, and knowing's half the battle.
Genesis. Show my hardcore is, you know what I'm saying? Yo.